Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be making a tier list on ABA characters. Unfortunately, um, my voice is not doing too well right now. It might have been because of how long I recorded the video for. I did speed it up a little bit, like by 30%. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. It'll really help me out, considering I do all this just for you guys. Yeah, let's get right on with the video. Okay, starting off, we have Luffy. Okay, Luffy, he's kind of brain dead, but right off the bat, he's going in D tier. Luffy is not that good anymore. People know how to counter him. He's like a worse time skip Luffy now, pretty much. His mode's still good, kind of, but even time skip Luffy, he has a better mode, I'm not gonna lie. He's going in D tier. He still has a decent combo, but it's just not catching anybody nowadays with your rocket. It's not happening. Next up, we have free time skip Zoro. Zoro is going to go in C tier. Two really good guard breaks, a decent extender, but kind of a mid combo ender. Can only be used if you upflank, and even then needs kind of a bit of a tech. You can, however, use your extender, and then you can down slam from like across like the sky, and that'll allow you to use Final Slash for free. But besides that, yeah, he's kind of a C tier. His mode's alright. Okay, free time skip Sanji. Almost the same deal as Zoro, but I would say he's slightly better. He's way more viable than time skip Zoro. He's kind of like free time skip Zoro. He has a guard break that's right in front of him. He has two guard breaks. The only difference is his damage. Because Sanji's damage is kind of crazy, so I'm gonna put him on B, especially because his mode, you're not surviving against the BK Sanji if you get hit by a barrage mode. Okay, next up we have Law. I'm gonna put Law in D tier. He's not like E tier worthy right now, but I will say unless you're inside the bubble, he's really not that good. He does have an extend right now with his upfling if you're lucky enough with his rocks. Joseph has a video on it, in fact. But besides that, he doesn't have anything to him really, so I'm gonna put him in D tier. Next up we have Ace. Ace is actually really good. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I do think he's really good. Whether he's A or B tier can be debatable. But considering, I would say honestly, he's probably she's B tier, but only because people know how to counter him nowadays. But if we're honestly being real, he can put up an A tier. He's gonna be put in high B tier here. He has a really good neutral tool, his fire gun. He has a really good guard break, and of course, he just has really good tools in mode. He has a low gear reflex is the best evasive in the game, maybe besides catch ability. But yeah, I don't think I need to explain that much. He has a guard break that's really hard to miss. He has a frame 0 barrage. It's kind of crazy, and his mode is insane. He puts up really well in today's meta, and I see a lot of people playing him at the higher ranks. So I'm going to put him in A tier. Next up, time skip Zoro. Unfortunately, I don't think time skip Zoro is that good. His mode, he's kind of on the same level as his free time skip version in my opinion. He can definitely put up with his free time skip version, however, he's not too special. You don't really see people playing him because his guard breaks are not too good. He has a really short range guard break, but it has a wind up. So I'm going to put him in C tier. His mode's pretty good though. Next up, time skip Sanji. I would say even after a nerf, he's still A tier. He has a really good guard break that's really fast. He has his like makeshift fully air. It's a little bit slower, but it's honestly pretty good still. And of course, he still has Diablo Jambe Barrage. So I'm gonna put him in A tier. In his mode, don't get me started on his mode, he has really good guard break. He has a really good rush. Next up, Kizaru or Kizaru. I'm gonna put Kizaru in B tier. He's really good in today's meta. He has a really good guard break. It's kind of like Holy Air. He has the move that goes behind you, but the problem is that that's actually really easily punishable if you block behind you. So, and in general, all his moves are pretty easily punishable, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. Okay, next up we have Akainu. I'm gonna put Akainu probably also in B tier. Thinking about it. I mean, he's either B or C tier. Okay, I don't know. His mode's not. I'm gonna put him in C tier actually. So pretty much, there's not much to explain about his mode. He has somewhat what his base has, but better. He does have Magma Fist or like the punch or whatever. It's like he has Luffy's punch. But the problem is that one's blockable, and it won't like deal any damage really. Like it'll deal pretty mediocre damage. And even if it's not blocked, it still deals pretty mediocre damage. So he's gonna have to go in C tier. And of course, his base, he has a really easy to avoid guard break. And his lava guard breaks, but I'm not gonna lie, you're not getting hit by that. Okay, next up, Usopp. I'm also gonna have to put Usopp probably in D tier. Usopp he's not bad. His modes has a 1 combo, which is pretty good. But I mean, most modes 1 combo, to be fair. His base, he has a pretty long combo. And I do think you can 1 combo if you have your counter up, if like you have the impact dial. But unfortunately, unless you hit that, you're not really gonna be getting too much value out of this character. You're not even gonna be really able to ever hit your long range snipe unless they spawn in really far. So I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. And even then, they can block in. They won't deal too much damage. Okay, next up, Crocodile. Crocodile's about the same thing as Akainu. Release Crocodile, he was really scary. Nowadays, he's not that scary. I am not gonna lie, I don't remember the last time I went against a Crocodile and I thought, oh, this guy might beat me. His mode's really mediocre. His base, however, it's like his mode, but you know, I guess his mode is a mode. He does have a move that brings you towards the center, which if you get hit by it, he can usually just go behind you. And his guard break is pretty much Akainu's, but probably slightly better. I'd probably put him above Akainu, but overall, he's kind of mid. Next up, we have Enel. I'm gonna have to put Enel probably... well, he's not too bad anymore, but he did get nerfed. So I'm probably gonna put Enel... I'm gonna probably put him in C tier as well. Actually, I think he's slightly better in the other characters down here. It's a debatable thing, though. I wouldn't say he's still like one of the best characters, but his mode's pretty alright, and his base, he does have pretty decent combos, and it has a really good hyper armor move, pretty decent guard break, so I'm gonna put him there. Next up, Whitebeard. I know this is gonna be controversial, but I think Whitebeard honestly goes in D tier. He's high D tier, don't get me wrong, but he's D tier nonetheless. He has a one-shot mode, but the truth is, as long as you have like 10 IQ, you can just jump over it. You literally just see him charging up, and you just press spacebar. It's not that hard. There's like no real combo you can do into it either. I think he might be able to build into it, but besides that, there's nothing you can do. And his base, it's honestly not that good. I mean, he does have a guard breaking barrage, but you're not getting hit unless you're like trying to engage him and you fail an M1 trade. Okay, next up, Shanks. Shanks is actually pretty good nowadays because he has a an evasive. And we know evasives are really good nowadays because most characters want combo, even though they said they nerfed the 1 combos. I don't exactly think that's completely true. However, he does feel like a worse version of Kisuke. His combos aren't too great, and at the end of the day, his mode is not, it's just his base, but he has a one-time use that just stuns you. So I'm gonna have to probably put him in B tier. High B tier, but B tier nonetheless. Okay, Big Mom. Big Mom is nothing impressive, I'm not gonna lie. I never see Big Moms. I've tried playing Big Mom, she's just kind of weird. Her mode's not that good. I mean, she's on the ball. She's on the ball, but you know, not that good. I'll have to put her in D tier. She's probably the worst One Piece character, but unless Josepher does some combo with her, you know, I might be glazing Josepher a little here, but I don't think she's savable. Okay, next up we have Rob Lucci. Okay, Rob Lucci, he's comp. I'm not gonna lie, he has an evasive, he has a counter, but I will say his barrage not. I think I'll put him in low B tier. His mode, it's pretty good, but it's pretty much just his base, but with an impale like a Doppio impale or a Illumi impale, which is Rokugan. Pretty good. But yeah, he also loses his evasive in mode and his counter, which is kind of like counterintuitive because in my opinion those would be really good to have in this mode, especially over the one other skill that's not that good in my opinion, but it's alright. He's gonna go in B tier. Okay, next up we have Aokiji. Aokiji, he is honestly better than his other Admiral friends. He's better than Ainu, he's better than Kizaru in my opinion. He has pretty good combos, and of course his mode is really good. He has a guard break that's massive, which is Ice Age. So I'm gonna put him slightly above Kizaru. Yeah. Okay, next up we have Arlong. Unfortunately, he's actually been hit hard during this patch. 2 of his extenders were taken away, so he pretty much only has 1 extender, which is pretty sad. His mode also doesn't really... It has a 1 combo, but it's pretty hard to hit for some reason. I mean, I can hit it easily, consistently in training, but it seems to be ping-based in the actual real game. He does get time stop, so I'm not going to put him in E or ABA Hell, but I'm probably going to have to put him in high D tier. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, you guys can debate me in the comments, but only having one combo extender, combo starter, it's not that good, especially because all of your other moves just knock back, and your mode it's just nothing special, really. I mean, you have time to stop, though, so that's why it's not that bad. Okay, next up, Jinbei. Jinbei's a new character during this update. People have already found, like, insane techs with him. Probably gonna put him in B or A. Oh yeah, you used to be able to grab people in mode too. But I'm gonna be honest, once they removed that, he probably did fall off a little bit, but he's still really good. I'm probably gonna put him in low A tier. And now onto the Dragon Ball roster. We're starting off tough, honestly. We have Goku Namek, and he's a force to be reckoned with. I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion, he's either going in high B or A. I think I'm gonna put him in A tier. I mean, he has a super armor, hyper armor, whatever you want to call it, the one that doesn't knock you back. Barrage. I mean, it's not really a barrage. It's just like a bunch of hits, but you know, either way, he's a really good one. He has a rush that's like pretty decent. He has Kaioken, which pretty much lets his rush deal guaranteed damage. It is pretty easy to counter though, but he does have a pretty easy one combo. And of course, don't get me started on his mode. I mean, his mode is really good. He has a rush that goes through guard. He has meteor combo or whatever it's called. And of course, his beam is just crazy. His Spirit Bomb. He's going in 8th tier. Next up, we have Android Vegeta. Normally, I would put him in D or below, but I have recently found out a really good combo with him. He's probably going to go in low C tier. He does have a pretty decent combo. It's probably becoming more well known now. But anyways, his mode is really good. So I'm going to put him in C tier because overall, you know, his 1 is kind of useless unless you use it in that combo. And of course, his evasive can honestly, it won't usually hit as long as you don't use it correctly. You can like use that as soon as they're up tilting you and it'll hit, but besides that, you know, not much. Okay. Next up, we have Piccolo. Piccolo is like the ultimate, honestly, runner character. You run around, use your skills. But if you do use him correctly, I do think he can honestly be a force to be reckoned with. I'm gonna put Piccolo probably in C tier, maybe over here. He has a barrage that deals insane damage. His mode has after image, so like that's already like really good. And overall, I wouldn't say his base is too bad because he has 2 guard breaks which are pretty good, and yeah, his beam just kills you. So okay, next up we got my boy Krillin. My boy Krillin's gonna have to go below Piccolo, but in my opinion, he's not that bad. His mode is nothing too game changing. However, he does have Senzu Bean, which means get him low. If you don't kill him, he just presses Senzu Bean and then he's full. It's pretty annoying. His combo's pretty good actually in base 2. And he has a decent blind, which is Solar Flare. So I'll put him in C. Unfortunately, besides Solar Flare, he doesn't have too many ways to easily get a combo start. And yeah, his mode's nothing too special in my opinion, so he's gonna have to go in C. Okay, next up we have Gohan. After the nerfs, he's honestly been gutted, but you know, I did make a video on his 120 to 0, but it is hard to hit, and also I know Joseph did the same thing, but again, they're hard to hit. So I'm probably gonna have to put Gohan in B. He still has a really quick kill, so a pretty quick DPS kill in mode, and of course his mode is just still really good. His base is still all right, even after the nerfs, his base is still really good in neutral. So I think he's gonna go in B. Okay, next up, Boo Goku. I think he's honestly the weakest of the Gokus, and by that I mean Super Goku. However, I do think he's still good, so I'm gonna probably put him in B tier, maybe below his son. His mode's pretty good, honestly. He gets pretty much a better Spirit Ball, but I'm pretty sure it's only 1 or 2 uses. And his base is not bad at all either. I think he still has his 1 combo actually, but I'm not too sure about that. But even if he did, it still doesn't compare to the other Goku's 1 combos. And yeah, overall, I would just say he's probably just like, he's honestly like a Gohan, but I don't know. I would not say he's better than Gohan. So I'm gonna have to put him in the middle of B tier. Okay, next up we have Trunks. Trunks' mode extremely good. He has after image. He has a 1 combo in mud, it's really easy. His combo in base is hard to do, but he technically has a 1 combo in base, but it's just hard to do. But I will say his Buster Cannon is honestly one of the better beams in the game. It's fast. It's honestly one of the better beams. I'm probably gonna put him at the bottom of B tier. Since
at the end of the day, he can somewhat compare to Piccolo, but I do think he's better because his rush does extend. It does sometimes not extend if it's like bugs, which is why I don't think he can definitely go any higher. But while I'm a B tier, I think that seems fine to me. Okay, next up, Caulifla. Literally every single one of her skills are a combo extender if you use them correctly. Her mode is crazy. She has an insane combo extend potential. They need to nerf this character. But yeah, she's going in S tier. I mean, Caulifla, you know, she hails from Universe 6, and clearly she didn't disappoint. Yep, she solos Goku, in my opinion, in ABA. Okay, next up we have Majin Vegeta. He's honestly not that good nowadays. Because we're like talking in terms of 1v1s. In terms of pubs, he's always going to win. I'm not going to lie, as long as you get a second mode. It gives you the same amount of points. Devs, please reduce the amount of points the second mode gives him in pubs. He generally just wins off it. But yeah, overall, I'm probably going to put him in either E or D. I don't think he's E, so I'm going to put him probably in D, but at the lowest tier. Yeah, I just think he's pretty underwhelming, honestly. Next up, we have Vegito. I know Vegito's really good right now. I honestly haven't seen any Vegitos, though, in rank do too good against me. But I still think he's definitely high B tier. Probably higher than Ace. He has a pretty good guard break that technically TPs you to them. Of course, he has a pretty good, like, up tilt somewhat move, but it also has extremely long range, so I'm gonna put him in B, and his mode's not too bad either. Okay, next up, Bui Bui. He's either A or S tier right now. I think he's, like, probably really high A tier. He has a guard breaking barrage, a guard breaking beam, of course, a guard breaking rush, and he has nice shot, which is just nice, I guess. But his mode's nothing too special, I will say. His base is one of the best bases right now. It's an S tier base, but I think just because of his mode not being too broken, I think he just deserves really high A tier. Okay, next up we have Frieza. I do think they really touched him during this update, you know, like pause, but I do think he's kind of gotten gutted. He does still have a combo extender, and well, he technically has two actually. And he has a decent guard break, and his mode's still pretty good. He's either low B or high C. I think honestly he goes in high C. Actually, I'll put him in low B. I mean, he lost like 2 extenders, so. Next up, we have Cell. Okay, Cell, he's honestly pretty decent right now. I'm probably gonna put him over here. I would say he's still really good. He definitely like can put up with characters in A and S tier, but I would still say like he's just mostly a spammy character. You want to be able to hit your beam or your other skills, and then you can like combo. Yeah, he has really high combo potential. That's something. His mode's pretty good, so he definitely still goes in B tier. Okay, Goku Super, S tier. He can one combo off his beam right now, which is not fair. His mode, MUI, is insane. UI is still pretty good, but MUI is crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's just not much else to say. One combo off a move, any character can one combo off a move, it's just not balanced. Especially because his cooldowns are so short. And you can also extend with the key throw if you know how to do it correctly. So like, every single one of his skills is an extender besides his 3, and 2 of them are really good combo starters in neutral, that being his 1 and 2. He's going in S. Next up we have Ego Vegeta. Pretty mediocre base, however, his mode is insane. So he's definitely going to go either in A tier or B tier. I think he's going to go B tier, because of his base. And his base is kind of mediocre unless he has Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. But yeah, his base is kind of mediocre. I mean, he only has 1 extend really. He has technically 2 if you know how to use his 3 correctly, but sometimes it doesn't work to do ping because it's not supposed to be an extender. So he just goes in B tier, honestly. Next up, Gogeta. Even after the nerfs, I'd still say he's pretty good. Definitely not like what he used to be, not S tier anymore. But I would still say he's probably A tier. Put him in the middle of A tier. He still has a barrage that pretty much will always land as long as the other opponent doesn't block. And he still has a pretty decently long combo. Of course, his mode is still insanely good. He didn't touch his mode, which kind of makes sense. So he goes in A tier. Next up, we have Broly. Okay, they kind of gutted my boy Broly. I'm not going to cap. Is he E tier? No, but I do think he's probably between D or C. He does still have his 1 frame rush, but that's pretty much the only thing that extends now. And yeah, I'd say he's probably really low C tier. His mode's still pretty good, I guess. Next up, Goku Black. Goku Black's always been like in a tough spot to rank because he's not bad, but he's not that good either. His beam deals a lot of damage like Piccolo. I will say his mode's really good. Probably better than Piccolo's, so I'd put him above Piccolo. But their bases are pretty comparable. They both rely heavily on their beam's damage. The only difference is Goku Black has different means of landing damage, landing like initial hits. So I'm gonna see. Okay, next up we have Naruto, PTS Naruto. Okay, next roster. Next up we have Naruto. Naruto, honestly, he's really good. Right now, he's honestly like one of the better starter characters. However, I still wouldn't say he really compares to like the top characters. He has a really good extend with his upplaying, either using your own clones or clone throw, which I'm not too sure if it's true, but I know it usually works on me. And of course, you can stack your last M1 with your grab if you're against the wall, which deals insane damage. I'd put him in high B tier. Actually, it might lower him a bit because his mode's honestly mediocre, but he does still deal high damage in mode. But for his base being pretty decent, I'm gonna put him in B tier. Okay, next up, PTS Sasuke. Okay, PTS Sasuke actually definitely came back this meta. He was honestly one of the worst characters in last meta, considering he's one of the few characters that has like still a fairly easy to do one combo. He actually can put up in today's meta, and then for that, I'm gonna probably put him maybe right below Naruto, because his mode's also pretty mediocre. But I'd say it's better than Naruto's, but I would say Naruto's base is slightly better. And I do think bases are more important than modes. Usually modes are supposed to be what you end the fight with, so I'm gonna put him slightly below Naruto. Okay, next up we have Kakashi. Not much to say. I would honestly say he's a D tier. He has Kamui in his mode, but his mode overall is pretty mid besides Kamui. Kamui doesn't go through iframes either. It's just that it won't let you use on somebody with iframes. And his base is honestly kind of mediocre. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like a PTS Sasuke without a one combo. So, I mean, he does have a really good combo though. So I don't know. I'm gonna put him in D tier. He's pretty much like a worse PTS Sasuke right now besides his Kamui, which you still need your opponent to pretty much get to 1 life while you're not 1 life, or else you're just pretty much dead on the next stock. So yeah. Okay, next up we have Rock Lee. Rock Lee really came back this meta. They buffed him a lot. He's going in A tier. His mode, he pretty much has an after image, but his mode is honestly, I would say, not that much better than his base because his base is so good now. He has a pretty much unreactable shuriken. You have to be holding up your block because no human is reacting to it. I'm not gonna lie, it's way too fast. His guard break is, I will say, it's kind of like has a smaller hitbox than most guard breaks, but it's still pretty good. And just overall, his primary load deals a lot of damage, so I'm gonna put him in A tier. Okay, next up, Neji. Neji's gonna definitely go in C tier, the lower C tiers. His base is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. He only has a guard break that is kind of slow to go off, and usually if you hit it right at the beginning, you won't be able to extend off it anyway. So I'm definitely gonna put him in C tier. His mode's not bad though, but he does have a pretty mediocre base, so he's definitely going C tier. But he can deflect beams and stuff, so he pretty much has an iframe mode. That's why he's going C and not D. Okay, next up we have Zabuza. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty easy to counter him. I know people might struggle a lot with him, but the reality of things is you just kind of have to somewhat predict when he's gonna come out of his fog, and then you can use a move, and he pretty much gets caught by it all the time. His mode it's like a worse Hiei mode. He has like the one shot similar to Hiei, except you can use it multiple times, but it doesn't deal that much damage. Yeah, he's just kind of mediocre. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, next up we have Gaara. I've seen people try to make Gaara work. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty good in pubs and maybe 2s or 3s, but he's not that good in 1s. His base is pretty hard to work with. He does, however, get an iframe move that lasts really long, so you don't have to exactly time it against one shots. He does get a pretty long range guard break with a decent ender, but all of that is not really enough because I don't think he has an extender besides his guard break, which doesn't extend always. I think he's mostly like combo starter, so I'm gonna definitely put him in lowest C tier. Okay, next up, PS Sasuke. Flagship Sasuke is actually really good right now. You can deal like very, very high damage off his beam, which you can combo start with right now, which is kind of crazy. Especially because it obviously still guard breaks, and you can aim the beam. Oh man, and they're gonna refresh him too. They're gonna add Mangekyo mode, so MS mode. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of crazy. I think they should keep, honestly, Curse Mark 2 and make it War Sasuke be the one who has, like, maybe he has MS in, or EMS in base and Renegade mode. But overall, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm definitely going to still put him in 8th tier. Okay, next up, we have Time Skip Naruto. He's really annoying to deal with, but he's so easy to counter. His mode is really good, but he has insanely high cooldowns as well. He's definitely below his younger version. Probably one of the lowest in B tier. He still obviously has a pretty brain-dead base. You press Rasengan, you run at the person. But he's pretty much pretty easy to counter, since whenever you do that, you're very vulnerable to attacks. You can't block, you can't do much to avoid attacks. For example, if Sukuna gonna use his dogs, you're pretty much cooked. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put him in B tier for that. Next up, Itachi. He's honestly really good as well, because you still have your Fireball, which is really good. You still have your Shurikens, which are decent at combo extending. And of course, you can pair up his Fireball with your Genjutsu, which makes it really hard for the opponent to do anything. And of course, you have Crow, but I will say they can get mode off Crow, which is why I'd probably put him in the lower 8 tiers, because his Crow is really, well, it is really good. You can still get mode off it. So yeah, he's gonna have to go in the lower 8 tiers. Still a good character. Okay, next up, Pain. I mean, if we're talking release Pain, you know, it's like over. But nowadays, Pain in 1v1s, in my opinion, is not that good. I don't know where to put him here. I mean, I guess his mode's not that bad, but his base, it's just like the only way he can really combo start is if he guard breaks you with his almighty push. But he pretty much can't combo start with anything else. I mean, unless you decide to stop holding block against his clones, but that's like pretty much the only way. I'm gonna have to put him in the lowest D tier. Next up, we have Mic Guy, S tier right now, actually. I might put him probably even higher than Super Goku Super. Really good evasive, which also works as a combo extender. I don't know why that's a thing. That shouldn't be a thing, but it's okay. Next up, we have obviously his primary loaded, which you get really quickly. And even in his first, like even no gates, he's still good. He literally has a really good move to guard break you. It's like Tanjiro's move, Tanjiro's 3 move. And obviously his mode, he has a one-shot. And his mode's just good. It's already good even without the one-shot. And he still gets his evasive. Oh my god, he's going in S tier. He makes me mad. He's making me mad. Also, a lot of people at the high ranks play him for a certain reason or another, and yeah, we know why. Okay, next up we have the Hokage, the 3rd Hokage. He's actually really underrated, and I'd put him in really high B tier. He has a 1 combo actually, and his base also has a 1 combo. But I will say, he only has 1 guard break, and you could just not block it. But overall, considering every other feat, he has Lightning Cloak, and that makes him really fast. He gives him TP dashes, which makes it a lot easier for him to go behind you, and then if he hits you, he gets to 1 combo you, if he has all his moves on cooldown. So, he's gonna go in high B tier. Very underrated, very underused. Next up, we have Kisame Hoshigaki. He used to be really good. It's not really that they nerfed him too much. It's just nowadays people know how to counter him way better. If he gets his mode, you pretty much still win. And obviously, I'm not gonna give him a low tier. We all know he's not low tier, but he's definitely like, I would say he's either B tier or A tier. Actually, I'd put him in A tier, just really low A tier. His base is still really good. He gets your mode really easily. But overall, he's just not like as scary as he used to be, but he's still really good. He's still A tier. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still A tier. That's still 1 tier below what I would consider a meta character. Okay, next up we have Minato. Namikaze. He was really good pre-nerf. He's still really good. He's just a little bit worse. I'd still say he's probably high B tier, probably on the level of Vegito. He still has a guard-breaking barrage, which just has a massive hitbox, so I don't know why that's a thing. But yeah, he's gonna go in high B tier. His mode's really good. He has a move that like rushes you and does like a whole combo, deals a ton of damage. He's going in B tier. Next up, Madara. He did say that Mic Guy is the strongest. He was right, because unfortunately he's not. They nerfed his Fireball, his blocks back. His only really good extender now is just his Tornado, and his mode. He can still do double meteors, I guess. But besides that, you can pretty much block everything else, and you can just not block for the for the no. So I put him high D tier. Okay, next up we have Killer B, or B or whatever, Raikage if I'm not wrong. So pretty much he is actually, I think he's honestly around the level of the Hokage. They both have pretty similar bases, and he has a pretty good counter. But I will say, if you know how to like just count to 4, you can counter his counter really easily. which pretty much leaves him open to any combo and makes him get pretty minimal mode. So I put him below the Hokage, but I would still say he's pretty good. He's still definitely B tier. Okay, now moving on to the Bleach roster, which I believe it's no, actually it's not the largest roster. I'm pretty sure the largest roster is the One Piece roster, but no, whatever. We're getting sidetracked. Okay, Ichigo, E tier. Free Time Skip Ichigo is honestly not that good in like generally medium to high rank. I do think he's probably like a public menace, like maybe if they're a newbie Ichigo, but honestly he's not that good. He's like Ragna, but he doesn't really have much combos. His only combo, which I don't even know if still works, what used to be up tilting in tier 2. I don't know if that still works, but if it does, that's his only combo pretty much. And his mode is pretty much just his base, but more damage and higher hitboxes. You can extend off his 3, but I would still say he's not that viable, honestly. Okay, next up we have Zukia from All-Star Tower Defense. Honestly, I don't know how she is in All-Star Tower Defense, but I can say that in this game, she's honestly pretty good. I'd say high B or A tier. Probably really low A tier. I mean, she has a one-shot with her Bankai. It's not too hard to get. Her mode is honestly not that much better than her base, in my opinion. But she does have a really good base combo, so, you know, can't lie about that. And, of course, she does have a guard break that's really hard to avoid. And she has an evasive on top of all of that. So, she's going in A tier. Okay, next up, we have Shinji. So normally I'd put him in really low tier, but I did see Malachi Flame. He made a video, and apparently Shinji has a one combo that's pretty crazy. It consists of up playing into taunt and then down slamming and perfectly timing a breaker. So he's definitely not gonna go into low tiers, but I still don't think he's too comparable to better characters. And in the end, his mode's not too good. I mean, he has Sakanade, but if it hits you and you kind of know the controls and you can like get him in one combo, he pretty much dies. So I would say he's still high B tier now, but definitely not anything higher than that. Okay, next up we have Byakuya. He's honestly really similar to Shinji. He also has a combo extender like his taunt, which in his case is 3, and he has a breaker that like almost works the exact same way. But in my opinion, Byakuya's mode is honestly slightly better than Shinji's. And of course, I do think that it's easier to hit a combo with Byakuya than it is with Shinji, so I'm gonna put him slightly higher than Shinji, but he's still like also B tier. Okay, next up Shunsui. Again, he's pretty similar to the last two. However, in my opinion, he's worse than both of them. His Takaoni is not that good. He does have apparently one combo. I'm not too sure. You know, I need to put up a video on screen of that if that is a thing. And if it is, then I mean he's probably better than what I think. In my opinion, he's probably C tier. Honestly, maybe high C tier, but definitely C tier. Okay, next up we have Grimchow. He got honestly like really gutted with his nerfs. You can extend off certain moves because they hover you now, and his beam is so fast it doesn't really last too long anymore. But I would still say he's pretty good. I'd say he's definitely still B tier, so I'm gonna probably put him in B tier. His mode is still insane, so yeah, and his counter is still really good. You can still bait it out. But even then, he has the arrow. You know, maybe that makes him slightly higher in B tier, but I still don't think he's an A tier. For example, you know, certain characters here, like they can combo, like they can start off a combo super easily. He can't really start off a combo super easily. Next up we have Bean. He has Corrosive mode, which is a one-shot, which is really good. But you have to hit, shoot to kill first. And his base is kind of mediocre. He also has Flash Step, just like the last two. But again, I think you're getting more value if you hit Flash Step and you get an M1 with Shinji or Byakuya than if you do with Bean. So I'm probably gonna have to put him lower. Probably like here. His one-shot is it's a lot easier to do than, for example, Shunsui, because once you hit shoot to kill, it's just you're dead. Even if they guard it. Okay, next up Stark. You can one combo off a move. You got an evasive. Your mode is insane. He's probably the best character. I mean, I don't really know. I think I'd say they're all like on the same level. But Stark, yeah, he's just so good. He's just so good. I'm gonna tweet, bro. So much gonna tweet. Please nerf Stark. Why is he untouched, bro? They didn't do anything to him. They didn't do anything. Oh my god, please, 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 please. Okay, well. Okay, enough of crying about Stark. Next up, we have Toshiro. Pretty mediocre, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, his base is really mediocre. His mode's pretty good, though. You can pretty much just wait for your cooldowns between your 2 and your I think it's your 4. You can pretty much cycle them, and you can deal a shit ton of damage. But if you try to cycle them, usually only with a 1 combo, so yeah. But his base kind of is really mediocre. So I'm going to definitely put him in C tier because of how mediocre his base is. But yeah, his mode's pretty alright, so he's not the worst. Okay, next up, Ulquiorra. They did find... I do think he can still one combo, but it's like ping based. When you uphill into your beam, so if you uphill really fast to your beam, he can one combo. But besides that, he can't do much. He does have an evasive, but his mode doesn't. And his Resurrección is honestly, it's not that good. Segunda Etapa is pretty good though, so I'm gonna definitely still put him in really high B tier, probably the highest B tier. He could honestly make it to the A tiers. If they do something by his beam where it's like, I don't know, just because the fact that his beam extend is sometimes ping based. But if it wasn't, he would be A tier, which would be pretty nerf actually. Okay, next up we have time skip Ichigo. I mean, I know people are gonna be mad at me that I said time skip Ichigo. But like, dude, he spent like 3 months. I'm not gonna spoil the whole anime, but like, he spent 3 months, guys, into place. That's like a time skip. That's literally what a time skip is. I do think he's obviously better than Ichigo. I would still put him in low B tier, maybe even C tier. I mean, his mode is still very versatile, and his Vasto mode is not even bad. His Vasto Lorde mode, it's not even bad. So I'd say I'd put him in really low B tier. They did nerf his base, but the fact that he has 2 modes, one that can just one-shot you if you're in 1 life, and the other one is just really good, I'm gonna put him in B tier. Okay, next up we have Yoruichi. She was so good. She was busted. Honestly, she was S tier in my opinion before the nerf. But now they just pretty much made it so like you can't extend off flip. Maybe sure against the wall, but that's the only way I can really see it possible. However, the rest of her moves are still really good. Her mode's still really good. I would still put her at low A tier. She has a really good guard break that's really hard to avoid. She has her flip, which just goes through your block. You can do it to people who are popping mode too, so it's kind of like Jinbei, pre-nerf. And overall, her mode's pretty good, so she definitely goes in A tier. Okay, next up, we have Kenpachi. Kenpachi's really good, but he is honestly way more mediocre. Now, he has 2 moves that are technically pretty good, but they're both cancelable. And his one you can just jump right at the end, so like, I don't know. I guess his mode is really good though. His mode is really good. He can carry, so I'm still gonna put him in probably B tier. Maybe just lowest B tier. Okay, next up we have Aizen. Aizen has a counter. He has Kyoka if you down slam. He has his one which can actually catch you if you're in the air if he jumps as well. But besides that, his counter's kind of skilled. Even his evasive is kind of skilled. You kind of can't just use it at any time and expect you're gonna get a free M1 combo. And he's pretty much just like the overall M1 character. So I'm probably gonna have to put him in low B tier. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put him in low B tier. His mode's still pretty good, but nah, his mode's honestly not that good. Just pretty much eases your counter. That's it. Next up we have Kisuke. Kisuke right now is actually in a really good state. His combo's really good. He has an evasive that's pretty good, both in base and in mode. And his mode combo is crazy using his ping cannons. I'd put him in A tier. You see, maybe he's slightly above his cat. Okay, next up we have Yamamoto. Yamamoto used to be really good. He still is really good. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. I would say Yamamoto's probably... I'm gonna put him in probably B tier, maybe like in the middle of B tier. I don't know why he grabbed Rika, but anyways. I mean, he does have a one-shot mode. It's pretty much unavoidable unless you evasive with an evasive that lasts really long for you to escape him, like tangibility. But yeah, and his mode's really good. He has like guard breaking M1s, and his base is really good as well. He can one combo with it, and he has a pretty decent guard break. Okay, Rika. I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty much a worse Doppio. She has the charge up move as well, like Doppio, but her mode's not nearly as good as Doppio's, and her base I would say might be slightly better, but overall, nah, I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna have to put her in like low D tier. Okay, next up we have Kazuma. He's actually not that bad, but in reality he is bad because he has no combo extenders and his one is really easy counter. Like it's really easy to counter it. But pretty much any counter that's as fast as Pucci counter or lower in like time it takes to wind up. So I'm unfortunately gonna have to put him probably in D tier. People might disagree with me though, because obviously he's really annoying. He gets mode really fast. He steals your mode, but overall I wouldn't say he's that good. Okay, actually, I'm thinking about it. I mean, I guess he could go C tier, but I don't think he goes any higher than that. Afro Samurai. Afro Samurai is another C tier. He has a really decent counter in base, and his counter in mode becomes an evasive as well, which is pretty good. But besides that, he doesn't have much else in base. You can just mostly either block or unblock, and he can't really, like, he doesn't really have anything to really combo start, pretty much what I'm trying to say. And his Mose is pretty much an upgrade base besides his counter becoming an evasive. So he's gonna have to go and see. Chica. Okay, Chica is really not that great nowadays, in my opinion. Her combos are just too ping reliant / timing reliant to be honestly like really high, and her mode's not that good. So I'm probably gonna have to put her in D tier. Maybe right here. She's not bad. She's just not really good. Okay, next up we have Saitama. His mode's really good. His mode's like a winning mode. His base is pretty decent. You have a really easy guard break to use. However, besides that, you don't have any other really real way to combo start. You do have a decent combo extender though, which is your 2. It actually deals a pretty good amount of damage. And you have 2 really good combo enders. For that reason, I'm probably gonna put him in B tier, high B tier. His mode is honestly really good. I'd probably put him high B tier. Okay, Ryuko. She's honestly not the best nowadays. Really easy to counter, and really easy to like avoid getting comboed. It's pretty much once you see her do a certain move, you know what you do. You either block or you don't block, and it won't matter because she won't really do much to you after that. She can't really like extend off of it anything. The best she can do is probably her mode, which her mode's actually pretty good, but it's still like kind of slow. It's slow but really OP. It's kind of like time skip Naruto's, but I'm gonna have to put her in C tier because of that. At least time skip Naruto's base, he does have moves that as long as you don't have skills to avoid it, he'll land his moves. But she just needs you to know when to hold your F key and when not to hold your F key. Okay, next up we have Guts. I would say he's still actually really good. I would still put him in A tier. They did nerf him with the latest update, but they didn't really nerf him. They just nerfed upflinging into your arm cannon because all upflings were nerfed. But overall, Dirt is still like probably one of the best combo starters in the game. And repeater cannon is just repeater crossbow is just so annoying, and it's actually a really good neutral M1 trade tool. So I'm gonna definitely put him in A tier, maybe a bit lower actually, since his mode's not like it's not like anything special, but it's still really good. Okay, next up we have Asta. I would say he's definitely like a more average character, so like C or B. He has a decent guard break in base where it's pretty much the same thing as Ragna / every time skip Ichigo. It's just like a slash to the ground. And you used to be able to extend off of his barrage, like his spin, but they nerfed that. But his mode is pretty good. Because of that mode being pretty good, I'd say he's still C tier, probably high C tier. But some people might disagree with this, and you can tell me in the comments if you think he should be B tier, but I definitely don't think he reaches A or S tier levels right now. Okay, next up we have Hiei. Hiei is still really good. I'm not gonna lie, even if your behind me hovers pretty frequently, you can still use it to combo start pretty easily. And overall, I would still say he's a really good character. I guess I will say your skill that used to like is like the Phantom Slash or whatever. I don't remember what it's called really. It doesn't extend anymore. I don't think. Put a video on screen. I don't know if it extends. I don't think so. If it extends, I'll put a video on the screen. But if not, I won't. So pretty much, yeah. I do think he's probably low A tier. Still, his mode's still really good. So low A tier. Yusuke, I know a lot of people are playing Yusuke right now, and to be honest, I have no idea why. In my opinion, he's B tier at best. His mode is really good, yes, and since you just spam your guard breaks and then you can hit your instant rush damaging move, because that does a lot of damage. Actually, doesn't do like damage at all if they block it. But yeah, and also headbutt is really good, still has a shit ton of damage. So I'm gonna definitely put him high B tier, but I don't see the huge hype behind it because if you can avoid getting really hit by his guard breaks in his mode, it's gonna be really hard for him to hit his 4. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in B tier. Next up we have Accelerator. Accelerator, he's kind of similar to Aizen. He actually has one of the only 2 0 frame counters in the game left, except his is slightly better. His keeps countering over and over. His mode's really good. He has a move that goes to guard and it kills you, so it's pretty good. I would honestly say he's like a better Aizen right now, but some people might disagree with me on that because he doesn't have an evasive, but he has really decent combos and he still has a counter that's 0 frame that's really good. And in mode it becomes better, and he has a move that's really good, so I'm definitely gonna probably put him in B tier or A tier. I'd honestly say he's A tier, maybe up here, just because of how good his counters are. He pretty much also, yeah, like any multi-hit moves, they're not gonna kill him either, which is when they would kill Aizen, for example. Next up we have Misaka or whatever. I don't know how her name is said. Misaka. Okay, Misaka. She actually got nerfed pretty hard as well. She had the upfling like lightning tech. I don't think that works anymore, but I still wish she's that bad. She has 2 pretty good guard breaks that like are pretty easy to hit. So and her mode's still pretty good. She has Judgment, which actually doesn't end her mode. So I'm still gonna put her probably B tier, somewhere around here. Okay, Ogun. I would honestly say he's somewhat similar to certain characters like Keyescape, but he doesn't have an evasive. His mode's honestly not that good in my opinion compared to the other ones. He does have like the Minato like looking move that deals a lot of damage. But besides that, his mode's nothing too special, and of course his base, I think it's really easy to counter, like, as in like not getting hit by it. So I'm gonna probably put Ogun in probably B tier, maybe right here. Okay, next up Tatsumaki. Controversial opinion, but she's not that good. She does have a pretty decent guard break, which goes right in front of you, but it has such a long startup. Oh my god, such a long startup. If people have a counter, they just counter it. It's not that hard to envision it. So she's gonna definitely go in C tier, only because her mode is still pretty good. And of course, I guess her base. Besides that, her combos are all right. She's gonna go in C tier. Okay, next up we have Mob. No extenders. Mob. Sorry for what they did to you, man. He has no extenders in base. One of his moves leaves him negative. The only good thing going for him is his iframe move, because he can actually attack after it, but it's not an iframe move actually. It's like a block that blocks any unblockable move. He only has one extend. It's against a wall. Oh man, it's over for him. I mean, do you want to play ABA hard mode? Here's your character. I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad. They killed my boy. I mean, he does have his awakening, I guess, but he's horrible. Oh, he's horrible. Okay, next up, we have Denji, A tier, really good mini mode. Like, he's really good. It's honestly comparable to a mode. That's how good it is. And his base is not too bad. You know, he has a pretty decent guard break. It's a little bit slow though, and yeah, he has a move that goes to guard as well, which is pretty good. And that's what charges up his mini mode. She only needs to hit that move twice, I believe. So, and obviously his mode is not bad, so I'd put him in A tier. Ragna used to be S tier. Like, any day of the week before the update, he would be S tier. But unfortunately, I do think, like, the fact that he can't extend anymore off the one move is, they pretty much got him pretty hard. However, I will say, I still think he's probably either A or B tier. I'm also going to put him in low A tier. Just because of his mode. His mode is still crazy. If you get his mode, which you'll actually almost usually get it. You usually get his mode because of how, like, little points it needs for some reason. And also because you can charge up. Just because of that, I do think he's still really good. Once you get his mode, it's like over. The fight's over. Unless he can somehow outsmart you and your counters, whatever. Okay, next up, we have Akira. He's actually really good right now. He has really good guard breaks in both his human and demon form. Or devil form, I don't really know. I'm sorry, guys. His 4, you know, his 4 form. His mini mode, or his transformation. But if you use his transformation and his base form correctly, he has a really good combo. Like, you can pretty much pair them together in the middle of a combo. And his mode is honestly really good. So he's definitely going in A tier. Okay, Maka and Soul. I'm not gonna lie, I would have put her in E or ABA Hell if it wasn't for the fact that they actually added some frames to her intro. Because before, I would literally just attack her during her intro. It was not fair. But now they have that. I wouldn't say she's bad. Now she has two pretty good extenders, one really fast guard break. Besides that though, she doesn't have other extenders, but she can upfling in her too. I have seen some people doing that. So I'd say she's low A tier or high B tier. I'm gonna put her in probably the highest B tier, I think. Because at the end of the day, they're not real extenders, it's just the fact that you're running after a person in the middle of their upflank. She's not bad, but also her intro also makes her lose points because of somebody like Nappia or Rika or Ragna. They can just charge up in the middle of it. Okay, next up the JoJo's roster. It's actually my favorite anime, but unfortunately, some characters are really good, some characters are not. Starting off with Jonathan, he's definitely a solid B tier. He definitely puts up a fight considering he still has a one combo that's super easy to hit as long as you land an M1. And he has a move that goes through guard, and he has a decent guard break that actually it's kind of like Luffy's pistol, except it's kind of really close range. And his mode it's like his base, but it's so much better. And his sword gains hyper armor, and his 3 is just really good. Honestly, it might not be like his other move in base, but it's still really good. It deals so much damage. He's just a really high damage dealing character. Next up, we have Joseph Joestar. Joseph Joestar. Sorry, man, but okay. I mean, I'm not sure. I think he probably honestly goes in D tier, maybe higher than Ichigo. He's just not really that good. I know some people know one combos with him. I have seen it, but I'm not gonna lie. It's just such perfect timing, and Why would you want to try to do that when you can just play Mike Guy or Caulifla? His mode is pretty good, but compared to other modes, it's not that good. It's kind of like a Piccolo. He's like a Piccolo beam. He has a pretty decent guard break though, I will say that. And then he has Boomerang, which deals extra damage at the end. Fine, I'm not gonna lie, I'll put him in really low D tier, but I don't know. I don't think he's that good. Okay, next up, we have Jotaro. I'm not gonna lie, he still has a 1 combo, he's still really good. I'm still gonna put him in B tier. He still has a 1 combo in mode, really easily done, time stop or not, and the fact that he can do it in time stop super easily is crazy. So yeah, he's still gonna go B tier. He's a really good stand rush. He's really good. He's really good, honestly. The only problem is he doesn't have an easy to hit guard break anymore, because his 2 knocks you back anyway, and his 4 needs you to be right in front of him. But it is super armor, so. Okay, next up we have old Joseph. Unlike his young Joseph counterpart, I do think he's actually pretty good. He definitely makes it to B tier. He has a 1 combo in mode off a move, which is his Hamon grapple. His Hamon grapple, which is actually pretty good. Since being able to combo just off that, which is a 0-frame stun, is actually really strong. But it's just his mode. In his base, he does have a 1 combo, but you have to have every move off cooldown, and you have to start with a monster. So it's a little bit hard to hit, but overall I would say he's still a really good character. Definitely deserving a B tier. Next up, Higashikata Josuke. He's definitely not as good as he used to be, maybe even C tier. He was definitely really good before. You could upfling into Okuyasu and then continue that with either your barrage, your 3, or your 4, which is really strong. But now you can't do that. His 4, it now knocks you back. His only extend is his barrage. But he does have a 1 combo that's extremely hard to hit. You're also not hitting that in ranked. Fortunately, he's definitely gonna have to go. Oh, I guess his mode does make up for it. He has Koichi, which is really strong, but he can only use his 2 once now. But he doesn't really need it anyway, so I'll put him in low B tier. Okay, next up we have Giorno Giovanna. Giorno Giovanna is actually pretty good. I'm gonna put him above Jonathan. He has a really easy to hit guard break, just like Jonathan. He just runs at you, and he presses 3, and he dashes at you. He can even jump if he does it correctly. And of course he has a counter, which is always really nice to have on a character. And his mode is unkillable. I'd actually put him slightly higher. I'd probably put him like up here. So yeah, overall I would say he's really good. GR is really good. But I will say that besides what he has in his base, if you just don't get guard broken by his tree and you avoid all of his other moves, he doesn't have much of an easier way to combo start you. So for that reason he's going on B, but his mode's still really good and his base is still pretty good. He's a counter. Next up, Shikai Kira. Okay, so like I know a combo with him that's really strong. It's not true though on dummies, but for some reason it will always work on players in rank. I'm gonna have to probably put him in B tier. He has Spice of Dust. To be honest, that move's really good because it breaks their mode, and you know. But I will say the only bad thing about Shikai Kira is his mode. Besides his 4, he doesn't have an easy way to instantly get you in a combo. So if you like counter his 4, he's kind of cooked. But then he can use Spice of Dust, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. B right here. Okay, next up we have Jolene. She's still really good. They nerfed her 4 by making it so it doesn't downside anymore, but it doesn't matter. She's still really good, and you can still sometimes combo extend off it sometimes, a bit less often than before. But yeah, she's still really good. She's probably the strongest JoJo. Actually, no. We're gonna get into the next one, which I think is actually the strongest JoJo's character. It's Pucci. I'm definitely gonna have to put him higher. Definitely up here. Right now, Pucci is extremely good. His counter goes really fast. If you get main heaven, you win the game. Just that simple. If you get C-Moon, it's really good mode. He has a really good counter in C-Moon. And his base has the gun move, which is 4 guns, but they all guard break and they're all really fast. He's gonna definitely have to go in A tier for that one. Next up, we have Dio. Dio's still really good as well. He's definitely gonna go A tier as well. I don't think he's better than Jolene or Pucci because his mode takes a long time to get, but his mode's also pretty much a guaranteed win, even though it takes a bit longer than other modes to get. And his base is still really good, even though they nerfed being able to grab into a time shift. It's still really good. For some reason, his knives now, they like track you. I don't know why they do that now, but yeah, he's definitely going in 8 anyway. Okay, next up, Doppio. As I was saying about Rika, Doppio is pretty much the better version of her. His mode has a 70 plus damage barrage, just impale, which is totally balanced, guys, I swear. He also deals like insane damage and guard breaks. And he has 2, just totally balanced, guys, I swear, because he goes right on you, he press M1, and then he starts a combo for free. And of course, in base, he can charge up to his mode, and he's like almost a free guarantee to win in big maps. Because of that, he's going high B tier. And even then, he can still charge up while you're dead. So, okay, next up we have Full Horse. On release, Full Horse was really good. Recently, they nerfed his 3. It takes mode now. And if you're a character with a counter, he does get really hard countered. And honestly, his quote-unquote one-shot in his mode only deals like 40 damage. Not that good. But besides that, his mode's still really good. I still put him in high B tier. Probably right here. Okay, next up, we have Gon. Okay, so honestly, Gon is going into the lowest B tier. It's honestly just a toughie because I know people are going to disagree, but it's so easy to counter Gon. His moves are so slow, and his mode has one purpose, and it only works if you're 1 life. If you pop mode when you're 2 lives against the Gon player, they're not going to be able to use their mode anymore. Like, I'm just saying, like, he's just not that good, honestly, like, compared to other characters nowadays. His skills still deal massive damage if they catch you, and his mode is still free win if you're 1 life. That's the only reason I'll put him in low B. Okay, next up, Killua. Killua is actually good. He has a one-shot technically, but it's a little bit harder to hit since you have to be 50% or lower. But his mode's really good, it's really fast. I will say though, his mode is a block simulator. You can block everything besides the lightning palm or whatever. But he's still extremely fast, so he can usually get behind you and hit some combos. And his base is still not that too bad. It did get nerfed with the clone nerf, but it's not too bad. I'd still put him probably B tier, higher B tier. Next up, Hisoka. He's somewhat similar to characters like Gon, but I would honestly say he's worse. His mode, it just gives him the guard break cards, and his guard breaks are pretty bad in base. Yeah, I'd definitely say he's lower, somewhere like there. See, he does have an insta heal in mode, just like Krillin, but besides that, his mode's not too impactful. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely put him in C tier anyway, though. Illumi, he has a pretty good combo in base. His mode's really nothing special, unfortunately, though. It's kind of like Doppio's mode. He has the Impale, he has an evasive, but besides that, that's pretty much all he has. I mean, if you spam his 1, you usually get behind their character for some reason, but it's just, that's it. Like, his mode's nothing special, and because of that, he's definitely gonna have to go in C tier, but his base is still pretty good. Next up, we have Chrollo. Definitely just not where he used to be back in the day. He's going in D tier. The only time he can really do anything is if he's in a fish tank, because it technically serves as an evasive, but even then it doesn't deal too much damage. But then you can't combo extend, and also you have to somewhat get lucky with the moves you get in Skill Hunter. So, unfortunately, he's going in D tier. Alright, we made it. Now that we're in the JJBA roster, we're getting some of their stronger characters, honestly, in my opinion. Yuji is still really good. I would say he's probably really high B tier. Sukuna Yuji is really good. His domain is uncancelable, unlike it's not like that Sukuna manga's domain is cancelable. It's more like the fact that you can't use another domain to cancel it. And it is just really fast, pretty much so one shot. He's definitely going in high B tier, but because it does kill him though, there is that unfortunately. And his base stick get nerfed with Manji Kick, but you can still extend off it if you do it correctly. You can watch YouTube videos if you want to watch how to extend using Manji Kick right now. So yeah, he's still B tier. Next up we have Gojo. He might be the strongest modern sorcerer, but I don't exactly think he's the strongest in the game anymore. They did nerf his beatdown pretty bad. Pretty much all you can do is just use red inside of it. And they did instantly patch Joseph for Hex, which involved using blue, or instantly being able to extend off it because of how little end lag it had. Because of that, I'm probably going to have to put him in B tier because he's still not horrible. His mode's still pretty good. He can still technically one combo, so I'm probably going to put him in B tier. Just way harder now. Okay, next up we have Todo. Todo's still super good, even after his 4 nerf. It doesn't matter. He's still one of the more annoying characters to go against. He has his rock, which is it's pretty much his main thing. He jumps above you, he uses rock, he throws rock at you, you avoid it by a tiny millimeter, he beats to it, and then he gets a combo on you anyway. It's pretty crazy. And of course his mode is crazy. But I will say, besides his rock, most of his other moves are not that good. But he can still extend off pretty much everything besides his 3 and 4, and his 3 still deals a lot of damage. He's still really good, and his mode is still crazy. Next up we have Manga Sukuna. Okay, Manga Sukuna is S tier. And you guys may be wondering why. He is one of the few characters that also has every single one of his move being a combo extender. All of his moves combo extend in the game. If you're wondering how to extend with Shrine, I'll probably make a 120-0 video on him. He's pretty much my main nowadays, if I'm trying to play meta. If not, I usually play like Strikira or something. Maybe Pucci. But pretty much all his move extend. Agito, people don't understand how good he is. People just think 3-2-3, give me that heal. No. if you use your 2, it's a guard break that will always hit, and it leaves them stunned for so long, and you can one combo them again. Then your mode is crazy. If you got 1 coin slash in base, you get a one shot on your mode. If you land off at once, you pretty much get a one shot on your mode. You get an insane combo on your mode that deals just crap ton of damage. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He's S tier. They didn't nerf him. They didn't nerf him. They said they nerfed his 3. It still extends. They said, I don't know what they said, but it's everything still extends. Okay, next up we have Choso. Pretty easy, I'd say A tier. They buffed his orbs. On first down slam, your 1, your 3, your 4, your 2, whatever, they all get buffed, which pretty much lets him one combo really easily. The moment he gets a down slam, and of course his mode's really good. You know, he has a really good ability to combo extend. Although as it goes through block, he has so many guard breaks that are really fast. He's going in A. Another one that's in A tier is definitely Ghetto. I'm going to put Ghetto in A tier. His mode's really good right now as well. His base is pretty decent. They did buff Samba to a decent amount. And of course, you can still use Warm Taiji for his 2, which is really good. Honestly, sometimes feels better than his normal 2. Because you don't have to time something like a Black Flash for his curse energy. But yeah, overall, A. Pretty good. Okay, next up we have Tanjiro. I'm probably gonna have to put him in D tier, maybe high D tier. His 2 doesn't extend anymore. I think that's his whirlpool. Okay, whatever. Pretty much none of his moves extend besides his 1, which is his waterfall dance or whatever it's called. Except in mode he's still really good, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, his guard breaks are mediocre. Yeah, he's gonna go in D. Next up, Rengoku. I do think Rengoku's a better version of Tanjiro. I'm gonna put him in low B tier. Maybe higher than Gon. So pretty much his mode, it can be a one-shot if he wants to, which is really good. Which is already puts him at the level of Timeskip Ichigo, Gon, and characters like that, Ragna. And of course, his base is not bad either. It really is just a better version of Tanjiro's. He has his 1 is a really good guard break. He has really good extenders. His line's really good as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in B. Okay, Tengen. Tengen's going in A. They didn't nerf him either. I don't know why they didn't nerf him. I will say though, his combos are not true to just. His combos will always be true in the way that as long as you don't have your mode, you're not getting out of them. And in mode, he's unbeatable unless you kill all his wives. So he's really good. He's going in high A. The devs need to nerf this guy. To be honest, I don't know how. I mean, it's probably something to do with his wives and his healing in mode. Something like that needs to be nerfed. Because he's so good. And then next Fukushibo, he's also going A tier. His brace combos are so annoying. Before you can't even see anything. He just uses his skills and you're dead before you can even understand what's happening. Your whole screen is bombarded by a bunch of flashy effects. Thank you, Bar, but I don't know. I mean, come on. Let me at least see what's happening before I'm dead. And okay, his base is kind of not too special though. I mean, not his base. I mean his mode, but it's still really good. And his base is also, I already just talked about his base, whatever. Okay, next up we have Shiro Emiya. Shiro Emiya is going in, I would say, where's Shiro Emiya going in? I would say maybe B tier, low B tier. He has a pretty good easy 1 combo in base. He has a decent guard break because it's a ranged shot. And overall, his mode's really good because it has an iframe that still lets you attack. But I will say, besides, the stuff in his base is still not that good. And his mode is kind of luck-based what sword you get. So if you get Whitebeard's, for example, Whitebeard's Kabuto, I would not say it's that good in my opinion. Next up we have Saber. She's not too bad. Most people don't play her though because also switching forms, it's just it's hard to do. And her mode is kind of like her base. It's not that good. I'm gonna definitely put her in D tier. Okay, next up we have Gilgamesh. He used to be S tier, but unfortunately they have nerfed him a lot. I'd say he's definitely in the middle of B tier right now. He still has a counter. He's still pretty good because of that. And overall, his mode is still really good. He has Enuma Eilish. But certain characters can actually avoid it. So okay, next up Kiritsugu. S tier. Boom. Okay. No debate. That's it. So pretty much, Kiritsugu has he has an almost 1 combo that leaves you at 1 and 1 to death. Because you can up devs, please. Fakes up tilting into your gun. I know that's not intended. Don't even. It's not intended. The one thing that's intended, I understand, is using your iframes like your evasive, and then M1ing into multiple shots, and then that extends. Like that's intended. But tell me that up tilting into your singular shot is intended to extend, because that's so unfair. His evasive goes through guard breaks and normal attacks. The only time it'd be hard to use evasive is if somebody's barraging you with a really fast barrage. Okay, next up we have Lancer. Lancer's still really good. You know, he's not like A tier or S tier, because all of his moves like have pretty decent end lag that can be punished, and his mode has gay bulk, but it can sometimes be luck based. I'd still put him in high B tier. But unfortunately I don't think he goes like an A tier or anything. Okay, next up we have Iskandar. Okay, he's not that good. The only good part about him is his mode, because it like completely lags your computer and you're just dead before you know it. But his base is so bad. I don't know. I'm gonna have to put him in probably C tier. Yeah, probably C tier. Okay, next up we have Ishtar. She's actually pretty decent, honestly. She definitely goes B tier. She has like the rush move that then brings her to the air, and then after that she can throw out a guard break. It's actually not that hard to aim. And her mode is pretty good, and she's just really annoying. I think I put her a bit lower. But overall I still say she's definitely B tier. Next up we have Mash. I would also say she's definitely B tier. Her mode gives her infinite block. Her base is a move that gives her infinite block, which are both really good things to have. And of course she has her throw, like her shield throw, and then she has a guard breaking like rush on the floor. It's really good. It's really fast. So I'm gonna definitely put her in B tier. Okay, next up we have Ilya. Ilya, her base is mediocre, but her mode is really good. Like I understand that her base deals a lot of damage, but she has like 75 HP, and you get one combo everything. But I will still put her probably in B tier. It's just like also the fact that, okay, she might have low HP. It sounds bad, but in reality, it means your opponent has such a much harder time getting mode. Usually, your opponent will get mode, but that will usually be at a time where you have mode. Which is, I think they need to increase the mode gain you get by hitting Ilya, because it kind of makes her 75 HP an advantage in so many ways, considering she deals so much damage. Like, she deals damage to you as if you had 75 HP as well. So, yeah, she's going in definitely B tier. Okay, next up we have Natsu. You know, he's not that good, honestly. His mode is not that bad, though. He has a really annoying, like, fire move. But his base is pretty mediocre, I'm not gonna lie. Definitely gonna put him in C tier. So, yeah, I'm gonna put him in C tier. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is actually kind of annoying. I mean, we pretty much have the S tier, so I'll just lower it for now. Next up, we have Gray. I would honestly say he's a worse version of Natsu. I mean, he's iced, but his mode kind of sucks, and his base, it's like he has decent guard breaks to auto track, but as long as you put like jump it's really easy to avoid. I'm gonna have to put him in D tier. Next up, Ezra. She used to be S tier as well, but after her nerfs with the hover nerfs and also making her anti-air a bit less oppressive, she's definitely just high B tier. She's still really high B tier, but I wouldn't say she's near A or S tier right now, especially because the rest of her skills are not that good. So. Okay, the final in-game roster from an anime is Kirito, Asuna, and Sinon, which is SAO. So Kirito is probably going to go in high B tier, because he has just really decent base control, like base moves. I will say though, maybe lower. I don't think he's high B tier. I think he's probably like mid B tier. After his nerfs, he doesn't really have too many combos, but his combos are still pretty good, and his mode is still really good. I will say that. Next up, Asuna. We're talking about 1v1s, and she's not valuable in 1v1s, I'm not gonna lie. She's not horrible, but she's just not that great. So she's definitely gonna go in E tier. She's still not like mob, she's still kind of playable. You know, she has a barrage that you can hit. She has a move that you pretty much always hit, even though it doesn't deal too much damage. And she has switch, I guess it's alright. She has her heal, which you only hit if you kill your opponent and they're far from you. And her mode is kind of bad. Her coughing mechanic really sells her. It really sells her. Like, you're healing, but then you take damage again, and then you stand still just like perfectly for your opponent for them to combo you. Oh my god. And next up, Sinon. Also E. She's still playable just like Asuna, but she's like a pubs character. You're never really hitting her one unless you're lucky. I don't want to hear anybody saying like, oh, I can actually hit that. No, you're not. You can't. You're getting lucky, boy. The bloom is unbelievably hard to use. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Her mode is kind of mediocre as well. Besides her one shot, she literally has no guard breaks. It's like horrid. I mean, her one, oh, it's unlucky. No, you're not. You're not lucky. Next up, we have the last successor of the Nico style. I don't remember his name. Tokita Oma. Oh my god, I always forget it. He's the best prestige character right now. He's going in really high A tier. He has pre-nerf Snake Awakens. He has... Oh, I say A tier? I meant B tier. He has pre-nerf Snake Awakens. He has pre-nerf Heal Me Dash. Honestly, I mean, that's not really pre-nerf though. And his mode's just really good. He has a counter in base and in mode. And his mode counter deals like 60 damage. Zanetsu, another really good prestige character. Probably the second best. No, actually, no. I wouldn't say so. Actually, I just realized I don't think Dokita's the best prestige character because I'm gonna put Zanetsu right here. He has a one-shot, but he doesn't really have a mode. It's actually Shisui. Shisui's the best prestige character. He is a better Itachi. Like, I was talking about the Crow, and in my opinion, how it's not that good. But he has it figured out. He doesn't use the Crow. He literally is Itachi, but without Crow. He has fire. And that fire is unbelievably good. Deals so much damage. It's mostly like a combo ender, but deals so much damage. So he's just a better Itachi, in my opinion. I'm gonna put him right above Itachi. Like, just right above him. Next up, we have Toby. Pretty mediocre. Although his base is not horrible, he has no mode, and he doesn't even get like his skill cooldowns back like Zanetsu from his heroic mode. He's definitely gonna have to go in C tier. Okay, next up, Satsuki. She's a worse Ryuko. Unlike Shisui was a better Itachi, Satsuki is a worse Ryuko. So she's gonna go below Ryuko right here. Achilles, not that good, not much to say. I mean, his mode, it just cancels out other modes, but people can just jump off the map, so like it doesn't matter. They'll get their mode back instantly. And yeah, I mean, he does have a one combo from people having figured out tech with Achilles, which is really strong. But that's like, it's like a whole like procedure, you know, you have to do with all his skills. So I'm gonna probably put him in C tier above Toby. I'd probably put Toby lower. Zamasu, pretty good, B tier. He's kind of like Goku Black, but I would also say he's better, which is ironic because Goku Black and Zamasu are technically the same person, but you know, I'd say their modes are pretty comparable. But yeah, overall, I would say Zamasu is probably better. I might put him a bit lower. Yeah. Next up, we have Deidara. He is pretty good actually right now. His explosive clone buff that was secret for some reason is super good. He can one combo off it, and I will say his mode's not that good, but it has a one shot. Oh my god, one shot. So he's gonna go probably high B tier. Maybe right here. Okay, next up we have Hercule. He's actually our final character. Wow, there was like nobody else. And I'm gonna just put him probably in like lower B tier. He's not bad. He's the champion of the world. His mode's alright. It's honestly like comparable to the base, but like a slightly better base. But his base is already good, so it's like not a bad thing completely. So yeah, that's it. That's the tier list. Let's just go scroll up here, and yep, here's the final tier list. If you have any questions, or you think I did said something wrong, or did something wrong, or you know you didn't like the tier list, you can comment down below that my tier list sucks. But if you really like the tier list, you can comment down below that you like my tier list. But yeah, I'd say anything above here, B, A, or S, is still like, it's like they're like good. They're in a good state. Anything below here needs a slight, maybe everything here needs a slight buff. Maybe a slightly bigger buff. And these characters for 1v1s, they need to be changed. They need to be changed.
Fuck at the game. Shut the hell up.